Hello, my name is Kai, and welcome to the Theoretical YouTube channel, where we see through all of Marvel's tricks. We know all the Avengers aren't dead. It was only half of them. And on top of that, the original 6 are still alive. Which really shouldn't have happened. Like, at least one of them should have been dusted, right? The chances of them all having the same outcome is 1 in 64. And the chances of that outcome being to live is 1 in 128. But we all know everyone in the movie's coming back. I mean, the people who were dusted are obviously coming back. Vision was probably downloaded onto some high-tech Wakandan hard drive. Gamora's death was too special not to be reversible. And Loki is getting his own live-action TV show on the Disney streaming service starring Tom Hiddleston. But who cares about the future of the MCU? We just want to know the name of the movie that's coming out in like 8 months. So today, we try to find out what the name of Avengers 4 will be. So lucky for us, instead of trying to blindly guess the name of the movie, the Russo brothers have released a few hints ever since Infinity War came out. The main ones we should be looking out for are that the name was not set in Infinity War, and the closest guess someone's gotten is Avengers Forever. The first hint rules out a lot of options, but it could also still be pretty much anything. The second hint, however, led to some speculation among fans. Many people believed that this meant that Avengers 4 was going to be called Avengers Eternity. And this seems to work pretty well. It's extremely close to Forever. It was kind of referenced in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when Peter Quill says he sees Eternity. And on top of all that, the species of alien Thanos comes from are called the Titanian Eternals. That seems like a pretty good answer because it ties in both the MCU and the Marvel Comics universe. But it also has ties in the real world. On August 16th, the Russo brothers posted and promptly unposted 2 pictures on Instagram. One of an art exhibit of a room with mirrored walls filled with lanterns, and another of the title of the exhibit, Aftermath of the Obliteration of Eternity. So I think we can definitely put that on our list of likely titles. But that's not all. Recently, the Russo brothers posted on Twitter a cryptic black and white photo of Joe Russo sitting in a chair on the soundstage of Avengers 4, captioned, "Look hard." So as you can see, there's a lot to unpack in this picture, and I'm going to try my best to point out every detail that could be important. Ready? Okay. So probably the most obvious thing is the giant ladder in the middle of the picture that looks like an A for Avengers. Then as your mind makes the connection between objects and letters, you get to see a few E's in the picture, the most obvious being the one in the background on the right, suggesting again Avengers Eternity. But now you're committed. So just like any rational human, you black out and wake up only to find you've spent the last 2 hours scanning over every morsel of information you could possibly find in this picture. That's exactly what you did, right? No? I mean, I didn't do that. Who would do that? But if you did, you probably would have found this information. Okay, first the word Nachi written on that thing above that other thing, and the word Mary written in spray paint on the back of that scenery flat. So if you rearrange the letters of those words, you come out with the word anarchy, and an extra M and I. So clearly Avengers 4 is going to be about MI6 taking down the UK government, right? Okay, probably not. And though Anarchy sounds like it would be a cool title, I just don't think it would fit the movie perfectly. Also, there's a random M and I left over, and I feel like if they were trying to do a name reveal, they'd get a perfect anagram. Moving on to the various arrangements of the words Endgame. One of the leading guesses for a long time has always been Avengers Endgame. This is a reference to the chess term in which both sides have lost many of their pieces and have to change their strategy completely. One of the main changes in an endgame is the active role of the king. The only problem with this, though, is that Doctor Strange actually tells Tony Stark that they're in the endgame now, And usually that'd be points towards the title, except if you remember, the Russo brothers said that the name would not have been in Infinity War. However, some people still think they found the words in this picture, like here, or here, or here, or here. Similar to those, other people think the word finale can be found right here. Okay, now moving on to some of the non-tracing ones. You remember that thing under that other thing? Yeah, that thing. Well, if you don't recognize that, then I don't really blame you, because it didn't really play a very important role in anything. It was just a piece of machinery that can be seen in the background of this scene. But even though this specific machine isn't important, the scene it's in is. This is the scene where Rhodey and Thaddeus Ross are arguing, and then Captain America and the gang walk in. If you look in the scene select option of the Blu-ray of Infinity War, this scene is called Avengers Assemble, which is also another guess people had ever since the movie came out, because it's a pretty obvious option for a name. This title could also be supported by these two A's in the picture. But if you look closely, those aren't the only two A's in the picture. Some people believe that there are actually 4 A's followed by an E, making it Avengers Forever, which seems like a pretty big long shot to me. And finally, onto my favorite cryptic message in this picture, because it could mean so much, but it's probably just nothing. The ladder that makes a big A in the middle of the picture has handwritten on it 4 letters. Some people have interpreted these letters as M-E-S-E, and since the Russo brothers are of Italian descent, mesi means month in Italian, meaning some important information is going to come out in a month. But that's a lot of convoluted steps that don't even end up with a satisfying conclusion. Personally, I think the letters written here are MBSE, which a quick Google search tells us is a model-based systems engineering. Okay, it's a systems engineering methodology that focuses on creating and exploiting domain models as the primary means of information exchange between engineers rather than a document-based information exchange. Oh, wait, no, that's not the clue. The clue is in how you pronounce these letters. Try saying the letters quickly. MBSE. MBSC, Embassy, Avengers Embassy. Now, this seems like a pretty odd choice until you actually think of what that means. An embassy is both the building that ambassadors stay in while visiting other countries, and a mission sent from one ruler to another. So if this is the name of Avengers 4, that might explain why they've been keeping the name for so long. With a name like Avengers Embassy, it might give away what the movie's about. But that's not the only thing that these letters could mean. If you take into account the ladder, the background stuff on the right, and you rearrange the letters a bit, you get A-S-E-M-B-L-E. Assemble. Well, I mean, it's also missing an S, but it's still pronounced the same way. So, my final guesses are, if this picture has anything to do with the name, it's Avengers Assemble. If we believe the Russo brothers on their tweet, then it's Avengers Eternity. And if it's some random title that not many people have guessed before, then it's Avengers Embassy. And yes, I know that's technically 3 guesses. But who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see for them to release the name. But until then, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like this video, and like the video if you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all those things you do when you enjoy a YouTube video. Let us know if you think there are any titles we missed, if you have an idea for a video, or if you just want to point out that Joe Russo always has his right eyebrow raised. You can do all that in the comment section down there. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.
He's from space. He came here to steal a necklace from a wizard.